I think when I was thinking about education, I think there's a new form of education we need. Because before the Industrial Revolution, there was a real concentration on developing polymaths, people who are multifaceted, multi-skilled, multidisciplinary. And you can think of some of the greatest polymaths, Michelangelo, all the greats were not single-issue experts. And then the Industrial Revolution made us focus on separate specializations which were targeted to deliver on a mechanized, specific era. Our world has now changed radically, and we are back at an era where we need polymaths again, and we need to understand the interdisciplinary nature of everything we're doing, and yet our universities and our schools are still educating our young people as if the Industrial Revolution was still the paradigm in which we lived, and we have shifted. Our world is complex, multidisciplinary, multi-dependent, interdependent, and the way we teach our young people has to change, because we have to teach them that collaboration and partnership of whatever they do is a fundamental part of what they need to do if they want to have successful conclusions.
About 1 month ago, Tahir Bey called me and he said that he wants to meet with our international students. I said, why? He said that he has many international projects, he wants to get them involved. And we do have many international students here. I think one of them raised his hand. Please introduce yourself and ask your question.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Ibrahim Yunus. I'm from Nigeria. I'm studying international relations here at ADA. I'm a sophomore. Retired Honorable, I would want to say well done for your journey, for all the things you've achieved. And it's such a privilege to be standing here before you at this point in time. I've had the privilege to stand before leaders, all of the conferences here at ADA, but this is different. Thank you so much, Mr. Tahir. It's a pleasure to see you. Madam Secretary, COP29 in Copenhagen was the COP where the agreement of 100 billion a year for the climate financing was made. And the last time I checked, it hasn't been realized, not even when it happened in Scotland. Are you hopeful about Baku? Do you think we'll be able to realize that here, this year, or in the subsequent year in Brazil? And my second question, when you talk about smart city, I've been privileged to travel far and wide here in Azerbaijan, and I think one of the smartest cities I've seen in the world is in Zanjilan. It's called Agali. It's amazing, it's phenomenal. And I think it will be a replication of smart cities in different parts of the world, and including developing part of the world where you're doing your works. And lastly, Madam Secretary, I would want to appeal that you come here again and again. It's been an exciting and interesting time listening to you speak and sharing your perspective about climate and all other areas of knowledge, coupled with the fact that you're promoting the multifaceted approach to knowledge, which I think is one of the things that brought me here to ADA. And anytime I leave, I always can't wait to come back here, and I would want to see more and more of this type of university around the world. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. As you know, Nigeria is a member of our family. It's the largest of the 21 African states who are part of the Commonwealth, and there is a great deal that we hope for in Nigeria. So I'm very glad to see you here in this university. You asked if I was hopeful about the commitment made in 2009, which still has not been reached. I think I'm determined, absolutely determined, because nothing is going to change unless we make it change. If you think about what we were told, for 27 years we were told you will never, ever get a loss and damage fund. I was told you are howling at the moon. Well, it looks as if howling at the moon works, because we got the agreement. Now we have to make it work. And that's why there is so much hope for Azerbaijan, because the topic for Azerbaijan is finance. We've talked about it and talked about it, and now the real issue is how do we deliver it? No more talk, but delivery, delivery. And that burden, therefore, is heavy on Azerbaijan's shoulders, and it'll only be lifted if the whole world helps it to be lifted up. And that's going to take a lot of advocacy, a lot of push, and one of the things we're doing across the Commonwealth is we are helping our countries to prepare for negotiations. We are helping to give them the ammunition, the data that they're going to need. We have just developed and delivered an analysis of the performance of all the Commonwealth countries on SDGs and on digital. So from these two reports, we'll be looking at what works and what doesn't work, because I think what we have to do is target what our efforts are in a way that will maximize their support. But you can be our advocates, all of you. You can advocate for the things that the Commonwealth have been advocating for, because they are really the things that the world ends up doing. The beauty of our Commonwealth is really our diversity. It's the fact that you can look at the Commonwealth and you will find someone who looks like you. If you're a European and you're a big economy, you can say, look at the UK. If you're a European and you're a smaller economy, look at Malta or Cyprus. If you're Africa, you can know that the biggest country in Africa is there, but so is the smallest. The richest countries are there, but so are the poorest. And if we can get an agreement with the rich, the poor, the small, the indigenous, then if our family can agree, it usually means the world can agree. We did it for the Sustainable Development Goals. If you look at the Sustainable Development Goals and you compare them to the Commonwealth Charter, the Commonwealth Charter was 2012, but 1 to 16 of the Charter became 1 to 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals. Then SDG 17, which is all about partnership, is our raison d'etre. It's really at the core and is in our preamble. Look at what happened at Paris. In Malta in November, before Paris, the Commonwealth came up with enforceability 2 degrees and 1.5. What happened in December in Paris? Enforceability 2 degrees, 1.5. What happened in Sharm el-Sheikh, in Kigali? We need a loss and damage. And every time the Commonwealth has been able, and some people say it's like herding cats, okay, but once we get everyone to agree, it can be, if the rest of the world chooses, a pathway, because people can say, look, there's someone who looks like me. So I'm determined.
Thank you. You said that you have been a lawyer in your educational background. We have law school here as well. We have really good law students. I think Javid wanted to ask a question. Javid, please. You can come closer. Come use my microphone.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would like to greet our guests, our ambassadors, all the students. And my question will be about, as you know, Azerbaijan, right before the COP29, and Azerbaijan has agreement with EU by creating the green energy corridor. Also, Azerbaijan is currently renovating Karabakh and has a number of projects about, for example, a smart village in the Agali village of Zangilan, also green areas in the Karabakh. As you know, it's very suitable for the green energy and agriculture, and with that relations, how do you see the Commonwealth relations of Commonwealth and Azerbaijan? As I know, the African Continental Free Trade Zone is on the process of emerging. This is a great opportunity for free trade. As you know, travel is one of the key factors of emission to the climate, because if there's high travel, creates higher risks for the climate change. And with that respect, I would like to learn your opinion about the relations between the Commonwealth and Azerbaijan. How could be any projects regarding the green energy and etc. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the first thing to say is that we were delighted to work with and been invited to work with Azerbaijan in preparation of the COP29, because we tend to say it's the Commonwealth and friends. So if you're not a member, you're definitely a friend, and we can work together. The smart cities and the smart villages are really, really important, because we see that having a regenerative approach to development will really have a massive impact in reducing the greenhouse gases. And so we've just published, Professor Solomon Darwin in Berkeley has just published a toolkit which was devised with us on how you create a smart village. Now, many smart villages in India are the size of cities in other countries, and some of them are the size of whole countries in the Commonwealth, because we've got countries such as Nauru who only have 10,000 people. So building these toolkits as to enable people as to how to do it, I think is really, really important. I think I just finished the signing, the launch of the book, the toolkit in Berkeley a week ago. So there are huge opportunities, I think, to work together. And you're right on travel. I'm actually looking with great interest at what may happen as a result of the Hyperloop. Many of you may know that the Hyperloop was being built in Canada, suggested from Montreal to Toronto, normally takes about 6 hours to fly, and it's estimated that the Hyperloop, which is based on suction, could get you there in 49 minutes. So I think that the Hyperloop may do for travel what the iPhone did for telecommunications. And so when you look at